Natto Masterclass 2023's Ultimate Roundup. That's something I'm going to talk about today, so stick around. Hi, my name is Hachiaki Takamiya, the Natto King. I am the author of Natto Unleashed and the Ikigai Diet. Okay, so with 2023 drawing to a close, I'm going to make another summary video of this year. So in the last video, I shared with you about intermittent fasting, the summary of intermittent fasting this year. And then, so I wasn't sure which topic I was going to pick because, I've covered so many topics this year. Once I thought of covering exercise because I've made many videos on exercise too, including some of the recent ones about, natto and bone exercises and so on. But then, natto was another, critical component of this year's, my video. In fact, this year has been the year of natto for me because I published Natto Unleashed, right, in July. And then, yeah, I've, made so many natto videos too, right? So yeah, finally, I decided to pick natto as the topic. So today's video is going to be the summary of this year's natto information. Yeah, but I'm sorry, I cannot cover everything because I've just covered so much, and then it probably will take 2 or 3 hours to cover everything. So I'm going to pick some of the most important things, but as details as possible. So if you missed, yeah, some of my videos, or even if you watched all of video, you may not remember everything because even I forget, certain things often. So you need to keep reviewing. So this is going to be a great reviewing video. And for people who watch my channel for the first time, it is going to be a great video to understand about natto. You learn so much, and by the end of this video, you realize that you want to incorporate this superfood into your diet next year. Right. Okay, so stay tuned till the end. Thank you. Okay, so natto masterclass. Yeah. So what is natto? Natto is fermented soybeans. It's a Japanese food. Yeah. It looks like this. It's very slimy, very sticky. Yeah, but it's got tremendous health benefit. It was selected to be the number one healthy food by 300 doctors in Japan. This is the king of superfood, the king of healthy food. Yeah. So what kind of health benefit does it have? Yeah. So it has about 7 health benefits. Yeah. I made a video before about the 7 health benefits of natto. And these are number one, it is fermented food. Yeah. Two, nattokin, natto bacteria. This is a super bacteria. It's wonderful for your gut health. And then 3, nattokinase, blood circulation booster. 4, spermidine, an autophagy inducer. Autophagy is the key to longevity. Yeah. 5, vitamin K2, which is wonderful for your bone health. And then 6, protein powerhouse. Natto has high amount of protein. And then 7, skin health. It's good for your skin health. Right. Okay. So first of all, okay, for details, please watch this video. Yeah, it's called I Regret Ignoring Natto, 7 health benefit you need to know. Yeah, right. So first of all, natto is the king of fermented foods. Now, we all know now that fermented foods are great for the gut microbiome. Yeah. Um, Now, but the question is which fermented food? Because there are so many, pickles, miso, cheese, yogurt. Yeah. But I say natto is the best because natto is both fiber rich and protein rich. And there's no other fermented food which are fiber rich and protein rich. Because look at the pickles, it's fiber rich but not protein rich. And cheese and yogurt, protein rich but not fiber rich. I mean, if you're talking about only the yogurt, if it's a daily yogurt, right? And then, okay, miso are kind of both, but amount you eat each time is very small. The same with soy sauce too. So, it doesn't make that much different. So in that sense, natto is the only fermented food that is both fiber rich and protein rich. Now, nattokinase, the blood circulation booster. Okay, so what does it do? Studies show that nattokinase dissolves blood clots, which helps maintain good blood vessel structure, improves blood flow, and lower the risk of heart disease. It can also help lower your blood pressure, reducing strain on the heart that can lead to heart attacks. So it is good for your heart health. Yeah, and it dissolves blood clots. So yeah, and blood clotting often happens at night during your sleep. So it is best that you make nattokinase work during your sleep. Now, how to do it? Okay, so nattokinase works 10 to 12 hours after ingesting. Yeah, so that means, okay, if you eat natto for dinner and then you finish eating it at 8 p.m., so 10 hours after is 6 a.m., 12 hours after is 8 a.m. So it kind of continues to work until that time. So in other words, it kind of stops working, at 8 a.m., right? So if you have natto for dinner, then natto kinase works during your sleep. But if you have natto for lunch or breakfast, it isn't. Yeah. So therefore, to utilize natto kinase, it is best to eat natto for dinner. Yeah. And the other thing about natto kinase is it is destroyed by heat, about 50 degrees centigrade, which is 122 Fahrenheit. Therefore, it is eat natto whole. Right. However, you don't need to worry too much about it because it isn't destroyed completely. Not everything is destroyed. I mean, some, part of nattokinase start being destroyed, but even if you heat it, still you don't lose everything. So you still gain some benefit of nattokinase, and you gain the benefit of other things such as spermidine, vitamin K2, natto bacteria, and protein and the whole thing. So you don't need to worry too much about it. Plus, what do you mean by heated, right? So, for example, some of the recipes I gave you in my book, such as natto spaghetti. So you make spaghetti sauce, right? And then, so you make the sauce and then you serve spaghetti on the plate and then, pour the sauce over. Then you add natto there. Then it shouldn't affect so much. Yeah. So unless you are cooking the natto. So you put natto while you're making spaghetti sauce and then on a frying pan, you're sort of cooking natto for like 5 minutes or something. It might affect, but adding natto at the end shouldn't affect so much. So you don't need to worry too much about it, right? But generally speaking, it is better to eat natto as a cold dish if you want to utilize natto kinase. And in fact, most natto dishes are cold anyway. Yeah, I've introduced plenty of cold natto dish recipes in the book. And nighttime is better for utilizing spermidine too. This autophagy inducer. Okay, so autophagy is the cellular recycling mechanism, and that is the key to longevity. Yeah, you can activate it through intermittent fasting or exercises too, but there are certain nutrients that can activate autophagy, and spermidine is one of them. Yeah, but it is better to eat natto at night time to utilize spermidine because it takes 8 to 12 hours after eating to transition to the fasted state. And then autophagy activation happens during the fasted state, not the fed state. Yeah. Natto's case especially because natto has high protein. So first, natto activate mTOR. mTOR is the opposite of autophagy. Yeah. When the autophagy is on, mTOR is off. When the mTOR is on, autophagy is off. So as long as the mTOR is on, autophagy cannot be activated. So you need to wait until the fasted state. And that takes 8 to 12 hours. So if you have natto for dinner and finish eating natto at 8 p.m., let's say 12 hours. That means 8 a.m. So you might get the benefit, towards the latter part of your sleep. Yeah. Right. But if you have natto for lunch, then 4 or 5 hours later, you have dinner. Right. So, in other words, you want to have long breaks, like sort of long fasting window after finish eating natto. Yeah. And the longest break you have is after dinner. Yeah. Because you won't eat anything until the breakfast. Yeah. And this is why it is actually better to practice intermittent fasting. Yeah. If you practice intermittent fasting, you can reap the autophagy benefit even more. Yeah, because you skip breakfast. So your fasting window gets longer. Yeah. So if you have like 12 hours of fasting window, you might gain the benefit in the last, 1 or 2 hours. But if you have 16 hours, for example, then you have 4 extra hours to gain the benefit. For details about why intermittent fasting is still relevant, even though some people have stopped doing it these days, please watch my other video. The actual title is Intermittent Fasting, New Myth Debunked, and Benefit You Shouldn't Ignore. And then as far as spermidine is concerned, Hikiwari natto is even better because it contains 75.2 micrograms of spermidine per gram, while regular natto containing 56.1 micrograms per gram. However, this 56.1 is incredibly high number. It is the highest among other foods. So natto contains the highest amount of spermidine. So regular natto is already good enough. But Hikiwari natto contains even more, right? However, as far as Hikiwari natto and regular nattos are concerned, the difference between the two are concerned, um, regular natto has some better factors as well. So Hikiwari natto isn't necessarily better than regular natto, but it contains more spermidine. Yeah. For the details of the difference between the two, please watch my other video, Hikiwari natto versus regular natto, which is better. Now, but the best way is to make your own because there are ways to gain the benefit of Hikiwari natto while not losing the benefit of regular natto. Yeah. And I shared with you how to make Hikiwari natto at home in this video called How to Make Hikiwari natto at Home from Rice Straw Sticks. Now, next factor is nattokin, natto bacteria. This is a super bacteria. Why is it super? Because it forms end spores to resist unfavorable conditions such as extreme heat. Now, so that means it safely journeys through the stomach acid. So stomach acid is very hot and many of the nutrients kind of die or kind of destroyed when you go through stomach acid, but nattokin doesn't. Yeah, therefore it reaches the gut safely and it is called the coordinator of the gut microbiome. Yeah, nattokin kind of balances the gut microbiome. Yeah, so you definitely want to eat natto for your gut health. Now, and for utilizing nattokin, it is good to have it as a fast breaking food. Yeah. So you want to send nattokin first thing after a long break. So if you practice intermittent fasting, it is good to have natto as your fast breaking food. So if you if your first meal is lunch, then have natto for lunch. If your first meal is breakfast, then have natto for breakfast. Yeah. And especially after prolonged fast, it is good. So I practice 17 hours fast and 36 hours fast. 36 hours fast just once a week, right? So uh, when I do regular 17 hours fast, yeah, I often have natto for lunch, but not always. Yeah, because I have natto for dinner as well. But when I do 36 hours fast, I always have natto as a fast breaking food to send nattokin to my gut. Now, the good thing is you can gain the benefit even from just a few natto beans, because if you're eating natto for dinner, maybe you don't want to eat natto too much. So you don't want to eat natto for lunch or breakfast first too. But you can just eat few natto beans and that'll do the job, because a gram of natto contains 2,300 million nattokin. It's incredible, isn't it? Yeah. So let's say if your daily limit of natto consumption is 50 grams and you have natto for dinner, yeah, you just need to eat just one or two natto beans, and then you don't need to eat the entire pack, right? So it's very convenient in that sense. Now, next thing is vitamin K2, yeah, and bone health. Okay, so bone health is very important because injuries from falling are one of the major causes of death among senior citizens. And when we fall, often we break our hip bone. And when we break hip bone, we usually become bedridden, and then we won't be able to exercise, and then our body kind of gets weaker and weaker, and then eventually start developing other diseases and stuff. And then so it is critical to have a strong bone density as well as muscle mass. Now, people often talk about muscle mass for injury prevention, but bone health is as critical. Yeah, you need to have strong bones, and vitamin K2 can help it very much. Yeah, but it is critical that you combine it with good exercises. Yeah, combining natto with some exercises which are especially beneficial for bone health. Okay, so what exercise are those? I made a video about it too, so I will kind of give a summary of that video too. Okay, one is weight bearing exercises. So these exercises produce a force on bones that make them work harder, according to National Institute of Health. Okay, one is like a brisk walking, and then two, jogging or running. I find jogging or running slightly better because it has a stronger impact on your bones. Yeah, when you kind of sort of jump and sort of run. Yeah, and then or any sports like tennis, badminton, ping pong, pickleball, and other racket sports where you run and jump, and as long as you have some impact on the bones, on their like leg bones, and that is the key. Yeah. Or climbing stairs is also good. And if you're not into sports, dancing is fantastic. So you can always dance for your bone density. Now, the second type of exercise is resistance training exercises. They add resistance to movement to make muscles work harder and become stronger. These exercises put stress on bones so they can make bones stronger as well. Weight machines, free weights, resistance bands, body weight. Yeah. And especially you want to work on your lower body to prevent from falling. Yeah. In that case, like a squat is good, or, box jumps or step ups, or, any of those exercises are good. For details, please watch my video, Natto and Exercise, a powerful combo for strong bones. Now, talking about the bones, you also need muscle strength as well, muscle mass. And then natto is a protein powerhouse. It contains high protein, just like other animal-based protein sources. Yeah, for 100 grams, natto contains 19 grams. Yeah, and it is the highest among the plant-based protein sources. Yeah. But you might wonder when it comes to, protein and sort of muscle strength and things, what about testosterone levels? Doesn't soy decrease testosterone levels? This is a common myth. Yeah. No, it doesn't. Now, so the recent study, kind of concluded that neither soy nor isoflavone, isoflavone intake affects male reproductive hormones. An expanded and updated meta-analysis of clinical studies says, right? So this seems to be the consensus among many experts these days. So no, soy does not decrease testosterone levels. Yeah. For details, please go to this site and then check the details. All right. So to gain the benefit of protein and so on, how much natto should you eat per day? Right. So according to the Japanese government, we can eat up to 100 grams of natto, or it is safe to consume up to 100 grams of natto per day. But I have been saying that up to 50 grams in my book and also my other video and so on. This is just because it is good to diversify your kind of food sources. You shouldn't eat only one type of food, however superfood that is. It is always beneficial to have a diverse fiber from different ingredients. But if your aim is to gain protein, if protein and muscle mass, muscle strength is your main goal, then maybe 50 gram a day not be enough. So then you can have 100 grams of natto. Yeah. Now, so how to eat natto? Yeah. So one thing is take natto out of the fridge 20 minutes before eating. So usually you store natto in the refrigerator, but you can kind of eat natto straight away, but it is better if you wait 20 minutes so that natto will get back to the room temperature, and then this sliminess, will get stronger. And then this sliminess, that's a nattokin, natto bacteria. So you want to utilize it. Yeah. And also you want to stare natto many times. Right. So maybe 50 to 100 times. I mean, more you stare, the better it is. I mean, some say you need to stare 200 times or 400 times to optimize the flavor. Yeah, called umami. But I mean, that's very tiring to do. So I would say 100 times is enough. Yeah. Even if you stay on natto 100 times, you can create your umami twice as much. Yeah. And this is before mixing natto with any other ingredients. So usually you put soy sauce or negi, spring onions like this, or some other vegetables and stuff. But do it before you mix natto with those ingredients. Yeah. So first you stir natto, then you add soy sauce, spring onions or anything else. Okay, so heated natto versus cold natto. Now, I already mentioned that nattokinase is destroyed with 50 degrees heat, right? So to utilize nattokinase, it is better to eat cold natto dishes. However, you can gain benefit of nattokin, natto bacteria, vitamin K2, spermidine, yeah, and so on. So I mean, heated nattos are still beneficial. And sometimes you want to heat natto for certain recipes, such as natto spaghetti, natto pizza. Yeah. And then if you have a problem with natto's distinguished flavor, you won't have a variations. You won't have different kind of recipes. So if the recipe requires heating, then why not? You can have heated natto. Yeah. And then as I told you before, heating does not completely destroy nattokinase. So you still gain some benefit of nattokinase, so you shouldn't worry too much about it. Yeah. So either is okay, heated natto or cold natto. Yeah. But there are plenty of cold natto recipes too. I all put them in my book. Yeah. So natto is superfood, but it's not just a regular superfood. It is the king of superfood because it's good for your heart, gut, bone, and muscles. Okay. So more about the health benefit, more in details, please read my book, Natto Unleashed, The Secret Japanese Superfood That Will Revolutionize the Western Diet. And for the recipes, there are tons of recipes, both Japanese recipes and some recipes that I came up with for the Western dishes, such as natto spaghetti, natto pizza, natto burger, and so many others. Yeah. And where to buy natto, DIY natto. Oh, I didn't cover this topic today, how to make natto at home. I've also made several videos on how to make natto, so please watch those videos or just read the book. The book contains the information on how to do it. Yeah. And navigating natto's taste. So I say natto has a special flavor and some people find it difficult, but there are ways to navigating it. Yeah. And then finally, natto hacking, how to optimize natto eating for your health and longevity. Right. So this is my specialty. Yeah, I'm a natto king, but I am the founder of the Ikigai diet and Ikigai biohacking. I'm a specialist in health and longevity. And many other Japanese people who talk about natto don't have this much information about health and longevity. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much. Again, my name is Hachiaki Takamiya, the Natto King. I am the author of Natto Unleashed and the Ikigai Diet and Ikigai Biohacking. If you like this video, please give me a thumb up and please subscribe to my channel. I usually upload this video 3 times a week and in 2024 too. Yeah, I'm intending to cover many important topics from diet, fasting, exercises, and natto. So please subscribe. Yeah, thank you. And please leave your comment. Yeah, do you eat natto? If you do, how do you eat natto? When you eat natto, do you eat natto for dinner or for breakfast? And what kind of bone exercises do you do and stuff like that? Anything related to what I covered today. Right. Well, I hope you will have a wonderful 2024 and thank you very much for watching this channel this year. So yeah, this is the last video this year and then the next video I will upload on January 5th. So the first video will be January 5th. Yeah, in Japan we have a New Year holiday, in the West, the Christmas is the main holiday, the New Year is kind of short, but in Japan, the New Year is the main event. So the first 3 days, first, second, third, public holidays in Japan. So I'll start working on the 5th. So yeah, the first video will be January 5th. Yeah. So have a happy New Year and live with your Ikigai.